as I was walking in to the Zendo, I just had such a smile on my face. I was like, this sort of feels like Hogwarts here, but we need a different name, right? So I was thinking maybe Dharma Dhatu or something, you know? Such a magical and wonderful Zendo. Thank you. You can really feel the sincerity and the depths of everyone's practice. Again, thank you. This is such an incredible gift that you are giving the world. It is just reverberating everywhere. And we all need it. The world needs it desperately. I was just listening to someone talking about how in Kiev, I think Putin doesn't want to destroy all the buildings because he likes them. So he's figured out a way to just bomb all of the electricity and the heat. So they're in really sub-freezing conditions with no heat in Kiev right now. So we can dedicate our nice, warm, cozy Zendo in our Dharma practice to them and to everyone else who is suffering, wherever they may be, whatever state. So here we are, lovely, lovely, right? So lucky. This beautiful snowfall. There's a koan that in the miscellaneous it says something like, all the peaks of the mountains are covered in snow, but one is not. And of course we have to present our understanding of this. And I was thinking, well, we don't have a lot of mountains around here, but maybe we could do all the leaves are covered in snow, but one is not. A little adaptation for our time and place. So we are continuing to work on Roshi's little couplet there, each step home. And this session, we're focusing on the home. And I just wanted to sort of reorient us in case we've sort of wandered around in our home very far away in this session, which is entirely possible. So, what are we doing here, right? What are we doing here? Yes, we're realizing the great matter. Yes, we're realizing our Buddhahood. But we also have to understand Sesshin is wisdom training, right? Wisdom of no fixed self, the wisdom of dependent origination. Not as book learning, but as direct experience. And remember, you have to keep the imprint, right, of all of your previous learning. It doesn't go away as you're trying to not cling to any thoughts or ideas or cognition, right? So the imprint that's still with us is that this paramita, this wisdom training, is just one of the other paramitas that as bodhisattvas we perfect. Paramitas are called the perfections of character. So even though we're hitting that note hard on the wisdom, the generosity is still here. The generosity that we are giving to ourselves as we're trying to wander around and muddle through. The generosity we're giving to each other as we bump into each other. I think I have already done that today. Moral discipline, right? keeping to the schedule, keeping to the instructions of the retreat, these shared agreements, right? It's present. Joyful effort, right? We need tons of joyful effort. And if we're really, really practicing and really sincere and seeing our thinking, acknowledging it, letting it go, then that joyful effort is actually effortless. You're in the zone, right? So just be patient and let yourself be carried, right? Concentration, well, here we are, right? That one, again, the Sesshin is like perfect, like the total perfect incubator for developing concentration. Nothing better, actually. And of course, wisdom itself. So, in this belly of Sesshin, right, in this, we talked about Imbolc being, which is where we are right now, this sort of transition time, this threshold time between winter and spring, although I think winter is getting the best of us right now, for sure. We're also in the belly of emptiness, right? We are directly putting all of our attention on what is the emptiness of self, what is the emptiness of phenomena. Quite frankly, that's all we care about while we're in Sesshin. So everything that arises is either empty self, empty phenomena, empty stick, empty whatever thing is going on in my head as I'm listening to myself talk, and what's going on in your head as you're listening to me talk. Empty, empty, empty. So there's a famous line that really just brings it right to the forefront. And it's actually the line that I think it was Hakuin heard from the Diamond Sutra, right? Here's what we're doing, reorientation. Each one of us bringing forth the mind that abides nowhere. Oh yeah, whoa, what is that, right? Each one of us bringing forth the mind that abides nowhere. So in order to do that, we can't use the mind to figure it out. But we can use the belly. We are literally in the belly of Sesshin, and we are in our belly. We're putting our mind in our hara, and we're accessing prajna wisdom. We're accessing that paramita. And remember, prajna wisdom is all about intuition, right? That's kind of the vehicle for realizing emptiness. Intuition, 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 right? And so much of our practice, at least at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, the whole time, is turning away from that dualistic, rational mind that wants to get in there and claim that, why, I know what's going on, right? It's too slow. Before the arrow is even released from the bow, it's already hit the target. Oh, I wanted to make this point too, that in this solitude, right, none of us can get into each other's minds, right? And we are so, so lucky, right, that we have the opportunity to go into Dokusan and present our mind, right, so that Roshi can interface with us and see what's happening in there, right, and really maybe give us a little correction or affirmation or whatever, but my goodness, we could spend all of our time in some weird little eddy thinking that we're like doing it and we're just 1,000 miles away. Even though 1,000 miles away, in each step of that 1,000 miles away is home. But we're still, we've got that dust that Kensei talked about. We're all dusty, and we can't recognize the radiant, nice, polished furniture that we are. So just really, I know sometimes Dokusan can be challenging, but we are very, very lucky to have it. And then, there's so much instruction, right? Every time you turn around, we're being instructed of how to enter into this emptiness, how to realize emptiness, how to embody emptiness. And just wanted to remind you that we were given an instruction from Kensei's talk on Thursday. And I just thought I'd repeat it just so in case some of us had forgotten it. And how bhikkhus is one invincible in regard to the presently arising states? How is one invincible in regard to presently arisen states? Meaning, like, how can one not be completely overwhelmed and identified with presently arisen states? Here, bhikkhus, a well-taught, noble disciple, that's you. Do you realize that you're a well-taught, noble disciple? Yeah, the spine should get a little straighter, right? We've really been focusing on this noble friendship so that we appreciate each other's company more and more. Who has regard for noble ones, so who has regard for each other and sentient beings, and is skilled and disciplined in their dharma, in other words, they practice, who has regard for true people, does not regard material form as self, or self-possessed as possessed of material form, not a thing, or material form as in the self, or the self as in material form. He does not regard feeling as self, perception as self, formations as self, consciousness as self, or self as possessed of consciousness, or consciousness as in the self, or self as in the consciousness. This is how one is invincible in regard to presently arisen states. So, there you have it, right? And what's so interesting is that in Sesshin, in Zen training, right, we don't parse through all of those phrases and try to like deeply understand them. It might take a long time, actually, for some of us, maybe shorter for others, but we directly experience our life just as it is. So we experience our life actually as that young man, that son that was had wandered away. Remember we started off with that on Wednesday night? So here we have returned and we are heirs to the castle. We are heirs to the Dharma Dhatu, right? Everywhere we look, boundless lands. The sun never sets on our lands here at the School of Dharma Dhatu. There's no place we can look that isn't our home. How to experience that? We don't even have to ask that question. How to experience that? We are experiencing it. And it's not the home of, well, it includes the home of the building, not separate. It includes the home of the elements of our body. It includes the earth that we are sitting on, standing on. But this home, this inheritance, this true home of Buddha nature comes without any burden, right? We don't have to worry about it going away. We don't have to worry about acquiring more lands. We don't have to worry about taxes on our fabulousness, right? We don't have to worry about someone coming, invading, and taking our land and our home. Our true home is completely ungraspable, totally mysterious, inconceivable. This is what we're studying. This is what we're embodying. This is our step. Each breath, this home. Each step, this home. Each word coming out of my mouth, this home. Your ears receiving the sounds, this home. And you can kind of tell it's working when you have a little bit of like the corners of your mouth might start to turn up just a little bit, right? Remember when Buddha transmitted to Makayashapa, Buddha twirled the flower, and what did Makayashapa do? Yeah. So that, is it working? And why are you smiling, right? Not because it makes you feel good. This phrase from Ikkyo, I think, just really hits the nail on the head. We smile. Our original face cuts a fine figure. One look at it, and it's love at first sight. So stay in the delight, right? Regardless of the prickly things going on, when you see it, acknowledge it, let it go, and you let this original face that cuts a fine figure, that has lands beyond lands beyond lands, with no tax, no invaders, right? No upkeep. And one look, and we're in love. Can you be the love that is your original face, regardless of circumstance? That's what we're practicing. That freedom, that delight, that joy. And we don't have to put this love into words. There's just no way that we can even begin to do that. So all we have to do is just delight in this present moment. And why is that really true, that we can delight in this present moment? Not just as like, oh, that sounds like a really nice idea and I got to get myself there. Here I go, trying to delight, right? In the Bodhisattva vows, which weirdly I forget when we're not actually chanting them together. It's the weirdest thing. So I might need some help here. Let's see, what I'm trying to, the Buddha way is unsurpassable. There we go. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Now that unsurpassable, right, is this original face that is not overwhelmed by anything that's arising, because it is the thing that's arising. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Okay. Yes, I got some thumbs up. Excellent. Should I say it again? I don't know if I can say it again. So the delight comes from the fact that the Buddha nature is unsurpassable, right? It can't be overwhelmed. It can't be overcome. It's boundless. It's ungraspable. It's beyond the beyond the beyond, right? So nothing that's arising can like squish it, right? Basically. And the nature itself is arising as that thing. Okay? All right, let's move on. I chose a koan to work on this a little bit. And we're going to look at case 57, the Book of Equanimity, Gonnyo's One Thing. Okay. Venerable Gonnyo asked Joshu, how is it when a person does not have a single thing? Joshu said, throw it away. Gonnyo said, no. I say I don't have a single thing. What could I possibly ever throw away? He's in that ungraspable, unknowing, boundless, super cool emptiness place, right? Joshu said, if so, carry it around with you. Cha-ching. Right? And normally this koan is used to examine how it is that we make a thing out of this boundless, ungraspable, and we cling to it, and we lead from that place. There's nothing to throw away. I don't have anything. It is all one. Life is good. Here we are. Fantastic. Right? Joshu is saying, no, 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 you're still carrying something. You're still carrying an idea of emptiness. You're still carrying that separation between emptiness and whatever is arising. So keep carrying it. Of course, when he said that, immediately one would hope that Ganya would say, oh, wait a minute, I am making that separation. What am I doing, right? Cut it out. As I was reading this koan, I was thinking, what would it have been like if Joshu had responded, let me just get to the right part. Oh, right. So instead of saying the last line, if so, carry this idea that you have nothing to throw away around with you, right? What if Joshu had said, this thing that you can't throw away, that you can't carry, let it carry you. Let it carry you. And I want to leave us there with that. This original face that cuts such a fine figure and is so easy to love. Let it carry you through the days and the nights of the Sesshin. And of course, none of us will be fooled and get stuck in emptiness, because we all are like completely doused, and all the cells of our body already realize that whatever is arising is that which is carrying us. This fine figure that you can't help but love. So let the eyebrows furrow. This too is it. We dedicate the merit of this talk to everyone that longs to have a seat in the Dharmadhatu school of Bodhisattvic wizardry, who longs to know their original phrase. May they come to full and complete Buddhahood. May we take them there, everyone without exception. May it be so.